Hello and welcome to the Confidently You podcast with me, your host Helen, and owner of Fit Girl Club Extraordinaire, online female wellness, health, fitness, confidence coach. Thank you all for taking time to listen to this podcast, and I'm excited to have you here once again. If you've not listened before, welcome. If you're an avid listener, welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the podcast. There's been some fantastic episodes so far, touching on everything from nutrition to mindset to fitness to probably what I had for dinner last night. I love to chat and I love to be here to help you all live your best, most authentic lives. So this week's episode is all about confidence. Now, for some of you, you're probably like, well, what do you mean confidence? What is this? What is this wild confidence she talks about? And for others, you may be thinking, oh, it's just those girls, the Instagram posts of women in their bikinis, and I see it a lot. It's becoming more popular as well. Like, I feel like I invented the confidence coach side things, but maybe I didn't. I wasn't the first one. Confidently You came about from me helping women. I've been doing this for 7 years now. I started in person, started in the trenches in Pure Gym in Manchester, and over the 7 years got forced into online with lockdown, went back in person to do classes and then back online again. I've met so many different women and helped women. At first it was just to lose fat and feel better. I was just all about, if you go back in the, back into the archives on my social media, you'll see some of my first posts were just like, do these exercises, here's how you lose fat. And then over time, as I was helping more women, I realised it was more about helping them become more confident inside and more authentic. And that's what it became for me. And this developed naturally. So a couple of years ago, I think it was a year ago, but maybe, I launched Confidently You, which is my one-to-one program, which organically came about. It just naturally, I started doing the program, coaching the women. It is a one-to-one program specific to their wants, needs, and development. And then I packaged it together as a Confidently You program. So I'm not just about fat loss. I'm not just about fitness. It's so much more than that. Sometimes you'll see some confidence coaches now, they call themselves confidence coaches, but women's coaches, or maybe men's, but they'll say confidence is me in a bikini or me with a six pack. Whereas if you want that, I'm the wrong person. You might get that, but that's not what I coach. That's not what I teach. I help women become confident in their own lives. And I'm going to go through that today. I'm going to go through what true confidence means to me. So if you're just about the six-pack life, you might want to switch off now. But I wouldn't switch off because some of this will resonate with you. I don't care who you are, what you do, because some of this you'll either be able to do it now and have the confidence to do it, or you still need help. And some of this is going to help you get on your way. So I've started doing a weekly update, and part of this week's update does come with the confidence coaching and explaining what I do. So I did a post the other day and it was a picture of me in a bikini and it was saying, this isn't what I mean when I say I'm a confidence coach, this is. So it skips to the first picture and it's me running at night in the Lake District. So a bit of an update from me as well. Put that in here with my confidence coaching. I went and did a night run in the Lake District on Saturday. I've signed up for a 50-mile ultra in July, and some of that will probably be in the night. We start at 10 in the morning. I'm not going to be able to do it. What time does it get dark in July? 8, 9, 9? Am I going to be able to do it in 12 hours, 13 hours? No, less than that. 11, 10 hours. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, guys. I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, well, it's only 50 miles. It's 50 miles with 10,000 feet of elevation. It's up and down hills, fells, through bogs, over grass, over rocks, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to have so much fun. Literally best life living. It's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. But I signed up for it last year. It's really hard to get into, even though there's like 2,000 places to this 50-mile ultra. There's also a 100-mile ultra as well with 500 places. It's called the Lakeland 50. Look it up. There's loads of YouTubes about it. And it's quite renowned in the UK as an ultra. It's one of the famous ones. And I thought, gosh, I need to do it. I just really want to do it. So I put my name in the ballot and I got a place. I was just like, wow, okay, I'm in. So I've been training for that, and I've been doing lots of training to get my fitness up, and my fitness has improved massively in the past few months. I'll give you a bit of history about that as well. So I did an ultra last July, and then I had an injury through that. And then I had to stop running altogether for a month, went to physio, did all the work, and I've slowly built back up. So Saturday night was a bit of a test to see if my fitness had built up and if I was in a good enough state. It was also a test because I was going on my own, didn't know anyone there. This was a run of the route, so they call it a recce run, so it's like practicing the route before you do it, and I need to go do loads more of these, which I will do. But it was arranged through the race, and this wasn't a race. You just go, you do the route, there's checkpoints along the way, jelly babies, water, fantastic. Lovely, lovely people helping out. It's such a good community. Everyone's just so friendly. Honestly, I just have the best time. So I was driving there on my own, which is, to be honest with you girls, 3 hours drive, and then it was a 4 hour run, and then a 3 hour drive back. That's intense. And I love driving, but everyone that drives knows it takes it out of you. It's really draining, isn't it? So I was just like trying to do my best to stay calm and confident and just be like, you can do this. And it really did show me how much I've come on without being like anxious and overwhelmed. In the morning, I got up, I had a really chilled morning, I had a bath, I listened to a meditation, I did all the things that kept me in control instead of, I used to be really like, I get really excited, but it's nervous excitement, and that burns all your energy out. Confidence comes across in different ways. Calm, cool, collected is how I want it to be, so I save my energy for the night. And then we set off on this run, and you're just with everyone, head torches on after a couple of hours. I met a friend, ran along with her, we had shared some fantastic miles, telling loads of stories, and I just had a great time. It's my first time really running in the dark properly as well. I've done it a little bit, but also I've never run in the dark on fells. These were fells that I'd never been on before, and at one point I was at the top of this fell, and there was no one ahead of me. I couldn't see the head torches ahead of me, and I couldn't see the head torches behind me. Just me. I had no music on, just me and the sound. I had GPX in my ear, which tells me where to go, just in case I got it wrong. I could hear down, there was this steep drop, I think, because it was dark. I've got a really good head torch, by the way, girls. This is safe. I'm being safe. I'm not stupid. Confidence isn't stupid. It's doing the things, going out and living and having these experiences. Anyway, there was a drop and I could just hear a river, and it was so still. And it was warm, it wasn't cold, it was still, and it was just so peaceful. There was no wind, it was just amazing. I just had this like epiphany experience. And I look up and I see two orange specks, and there was just this sheep chewing on grass, just staring at me. And I was like, what is this experience? Like, I used to spend my 20s and early 30s in nightclubs on a Saturday night, and I was there up a hill, mountain, let's call it a mountain, in the middle of nowhere, running with a head torch on. I was like, what a difference my life is, because I got the confidence to live my life authentically. And I'm just so grateful for that. And then I drove home and I had a fantastic time, and it was wonderful. And I just, best time ever. And it just goes to show, if I can do that in January, how much easier it'll be in July. But then again, it's the last 15 miles of a 50-mile race, and that'll be tough. But I've done it. So, yay, go me. Like, people, you might be listening to this going, I could never do that. But it's not, I didn't wake up one day and go from partying on a Saturday night to running in the Lake District on my own in the dark with 300 people, but still on my own. I built this up over time, and you can do it. Like, little steps of, like, if you like running, going to a park run, or booking an event and doing an event, or joining in something, doing a meditation group, or seeing, a local community group and joining that on your own and doing those things, doing the reps and building the confidence. It also showed me as well, I'm really good at running uphill, well, walking, power walking. I'm so fast going up, right, using my poles. I'm really fit, I'm strong. I'm rubbish at coming down because I get a bit of trepidation, I get a bit scared. So I need to go back now and work on that. And I'm just going to go up to the lakes once a month and practice running downhill and building that confidence so that on the day I know what I'm doing. And that's what confidence is. It's about doing the reps. It's about doing things, feeling the fear. Like, I was nervous to go to this event. Part of me was like, oh, can't believe I'm doing this on my own. But I do it anyway. What's the worst that can happen? You can always turn around and just come home. You've got to put yourself in these situations and push yourself a little bit. Otherwise, you'll never experience life. And the last thing I want for me or any of you listening to this is to say you're 90 in your care home and you're regretting not doing certain things. I don't care how old you are. I took on a new client the other day. I think she's 65, and I cannot wait to help her live her most authentic life and do situations, have some experiences where she's looking after something for her. She spent her whole life looking after her kids, her grandkids, her husband, and now she's like, what am I doing this for? She's had an epiphany that she needs to start living for herself, because at the end of the day, what's the point otherwise? Yes, some of you have fantastic relationships, and I know you know a lot of you'll spend time looking after your kids, and you know with your partner it should be a relationship. It shouldn't be a one-sided thing, but you can still do something for you. This is really important, that you start doing things for you as well, because otherwise, when it comes to the end, what are you going to say? So another thing with me was like confidence to travel across the world on my own. Again, I'm not expecting you to get up tomorrow and go, right, I'm travelling to Australia. But doing things like going to a cafe on your own. If you can't sit in a cafe on your own and have a coffee or a tea or read a book, take a book, listen to a podcast. It's fine to have distractions. You don't have to, for want of a better word, raw dog it. If you don't know what raw dogging means, it's like proper Gen Z, means like no external stimuli. You don't have to do that. You can put yourself in a more comfortable position. Go in, have a cuppa, sit down, drink it, leave. Once you've done it once, it'll be easier in the future. When I was single, I used to love going to the cinema on my own. There's something great about that. Actually, I've done it when I've still been with Martin. I went to see the first Wicked on my own, took myself a picnic and just sat there. I think I took a blanket and everything. I had a really good time. But me travelling solo across the world, I didn't just do that once. I got put in situations like when I became a rep. When I first went out to resort, social media wasn't a big thing then. So you didn't have like the online communities, you didn't really meet anyone. So I got dropped off at Doncaster Airport. I did cry when I left. You know, my mum and dad dropped me off, and I remember crying, being like, oh my God. That happened once, and then I never did it again. And then I got on this flight, and then I met people in resort, and you're just like, hello. And you just have to. Everyone's in the same situation. No matter where you are or what you do in life, there'll be people that like you, and there'll be people that you don't get on with necessarily. And you're probably the same with other people as well. You'll like people and you won't like people. And that's okay, but wherever you go, you'll always find your people, because you're meant to, no matter who you are. Biggest tip as well, and I need to learn this, and I learned it from Martin, is listen and ask people questions about themselves, because people love to talk about themselves. So if you're ever in that situation where you're in a new group, literally ask someone about themselves. But the confidence to travel solo across the world, like I've travelled all over the world. I did a month like backpacking on my own. I went to India on my own, which was probably a bit mental actually, to be honest with you, looking back. That's the only place in the world I've ever felt unsafe. And it's just because of being a woman. I lived in Jamaica and I didn't feel unsafe there. Whereas in India, just a bit, people coming up to me asking for pictures. But anyway, that was an experience, and I choose not to go back there on my own. I did like India, but it's not high up on my agenda to go back. But yeah, the travelling across the world on my own, like that, I built up that confidence, and now I do it. It's like getting on a bus. It doesn't bother me. Going to the airport, doing whatever. It's just like, oh, here we go again. But if you want to do something on your own, or go and experience, or go out on a hike on your own, tell people where you're going. If you always best to be safe, but just do something. Go do it on your own, and then go and experience that. It doesn't matter what it is, but it will give you more confidence to be on your own if you do struggle with being on your own. And I think it is something really important to do, because if you're dependent on other people constantly, what happens when they go? They're not always going to be there. It's also really empowering. Next one I talked about was confidence to get sober and choose myself. So I know some of you like to have a drink, and I'm not against people having a drink, but me getting sober was more about me trusting and learning to be my authentic self, not to do with not drinking. It was more like I don't need the alcohol to be confident. It was this fake confidence that I always used to have. This took me a long time, by the way, to overcome. A couple of years, really. And then I had to have first dates sober, and going and meeting people sober and doing things sober, going on nights out sober, which I really don't like that much anymore, which I absolutely used to love. But I will actually now get up and dance sober. I've done karaoke sober. I've done loads of situations sober. I don't enjoy that side as much anymore though. I love karaoke, but like going out and nightlife and stuff like that, I'd rather be in bed early than get up early the next day. But that's something that I've learned as well. And it took me doing the reps. When I got sober, the first few months, I didn't really do anything. I didn't really go out or do anything because I needed to protect my peace. And that was my decision then, not to be surrounded by it, because it was so easy. It would have been so easy for me to tip back into party Helen. And I didn't want to be that person anymore. So I had the confidence, though, to stand up for my beliefs and say, right, I'm not going to drink anymore. Everyone knew me as this mental holiday rep party Helen. Even my parents knew me as, you know, I used to go for drinks with them in the pub and I used to have a fantastic time with them. I used to love it. I used to love those times going to the pub with my parents and then going home and having some wine and having dinner and stuff. And we used to have so much fun. But then I realised that wasn't who I wanted to be anymore. So even when people question me like, oh, why are you not drinking or things like that, I had the confidence to say, actually, I don't want to anymore. And that's an answer enough. People second guessing you on your opinions, decisions and values isn't support, and it's not beneficial for anyone, and it shows more about them sometimes than it does you. And you sometimes, if you want to change, unfortunately, you have to realise that when you change, sometimes some friendships and relationships will break down and you just remember them in the past. And I always acknowledge and accept them, and I have no regrets, strangely, but I also have no regrets of changing, and I'm so grateful for who I am now. And you meet new people. There's 7 billion people in the world. I say this wrong all the time. I need to actually look it up. There's enough people in the world to make new friends. You can get new hobbies. But if you just get sober and sit in and be lonely and sad and depressed, then nothing will change, because you'll just be like, oh, I don't like this new life. You have to create a new life and you have to try new things. Maybe you want to, you know, get into a new hobby or do something different. And if you don't push yourself to do that, you'll always revert back to who you were, because that's easy. So confidence to set boundaries and say no without guilt. You know, no is a full answer. No. Do you want to do this? No. I learn to protect my peace, and if I've like had a really busy week, I'm absolutely knackered, and someone wants to meet up or do something, and I just know it's going to send me over the edge, I will say no, because it'll ruin my next week. I've learned to protect my peace and setting boundaries, and especially it's really hard with close friends and family, but if you don't do this, people can walk all over you, and you've got to have your values and stick with them. The main thing here though is you've got to communicate. You can't just suddenly change and expect everyone to know what you're doing. You have to sit down with people that you love and have these difficult conversations, which are hard, and say, I'm really unhappy with this situation. I think this should change. Can we do this? And you've got to, and if someone doesn't agree with you, don't then roll over and be like, okay, I'll carry on being miserable. This is about your life as well. Yeah, I'm not saying going out and start being a knob and telling people what to do and being like, I hate all this, so I'm going to refuse to do anything. But it's a two-way street. Setting boundaries as well, especially a lot of the women I help with like careers and work, and a lot of the women, like, I'm not going to say to my clients, oh yeah, sack off your job, that pays your bills. But if they've got a boss who walks all over them, or they work with someone and they're always taking the brunt and they tell me about it, I will like encourage them to set boundaries within any relationship, whether it's, you know, work colleagues or family or friends. It's really important, and you're allowed to say no. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the more people respect you. If you've spent your whole life letting people take advantage or walk all over you, once you start standing up for yourself, they will be a bit taken aback, but they will listen. No is a full answer. If you don't want to do something, you can say no, okay? Just say no. Confidence to take up space in the gym. The amount of women I speak to or help that, especially when you're new, it's scary, right? It's so scary. When you first walk into a gym, it is a male-dominated space, let's be honest. More women are going to the gym now, but it is a male-dominated space, and they all look like they know what they're doing. Let you into a secret, girls. Half the time they don't, because I look over and I'm like, what are they doing? Obviously, as a trained professional, I never say anything. It's not my place. I'm not going to go in and start mansplaining to people. I'm not coaching them. They're not paying me. If they ask for my help, I would help. But I'll never go in and start telling people what to do. I just keep myself to myself. But a lot of the girls I help will say, oh yeah, I'll go and do in this area, or they'll go to classes where it's comfortable and safe. Great. Good for you for getting out, doing some exercise and going in the first place. But really what I love to see is when they get a bit more confidence to take a bit more space up, the free weights area. I just call it the big girl area, right? Put your big girl pants on and go in there, because it is male dominated. I sat the other day, right, in the gym, there was 2 guys either side of me and just me, and then all the women were in the other area. And I sit there and take up space, and you're probably like, well, yeah, but Helen, you've been doing it for years. But I had to start somewhere as well, and it's just about, one, knowing what you're doing. That's really important. So having a program, sticking to it, being confident with it, pick up those weights with confidence, hold your head up high. I'm not kidding you. This makes such a difference. Walk in there like you own the place. And I'm not saying you have to be a knob and be like, taking over or anything like that. No, but just the air of confidence. Sometimes, girls, it's about how you stand and how you look. Like, if someone looks at me, I'll look back at them. I won't put my head down in shame. I'll be like, yes. And having that confidence to do it. Now, little tips. So this is what I help my girls with sometimes. Say they want to go in, I'd love to try to go in the free weights area. Pick a couple of exercises that you know how to do. So like dumbbell shoulder press or bent over rows or things like that. You can use the bench, dumbbell bench press. Get 2 weights that you know you can use. So you've done them before. So you don't feel, don't go pick up the biggest weights and then you're struggling with them. And then just go in, do 3 sets of one exercise and then leave. And once you've done that, you've got that tick mentally that you've done it. Everything you do in your mind that you've succeeded at, you've got a memory, it's memorised. So next time you come to do it, it will not be as scary. Things get less scary. You build more confidence by doing the reps. Trust me, you just got to do it. I love to see women in the free weights area taking up space in the gym because, and this isn't a dig at men, it's just more like we should feel comfortable to do that. Why do we not feel comfortable? And if you listen to this now, if you're not my client, if you want to do this in the gym, message me. I've got a free 4-day training program with videos that show you exactly how to do the exercises, and you can go try it in the gym. Just message me either in the show notes. There's details of how to contact me on Instagram, or just put in the comments and I'll send it over to you. Confidence to go after opportunity. Confidence to go after opportunities even when I don't feel ready. Feel the fear and do it anyway. I love this. Right. I saw a few months ago, exclusive by the way, exclusive information. I'm on a Facebook group, a local business Facebook group, and someone they're asking for guest speakers. They're doing, I should really know exactly what this is, but it's at a local college where the female staff are doing something to do with tag rugby, like a 6-week course tag rugby, and each week they're getting a speaker in to speak about like meditation, mindfulness, nutrition, and she was asking for someone to talk about weight training. And I saw this advertisement and she said, just email me. And I was like, you know what? YOLO, I'll do it. And I'm going to be a guest speaker in March for these women. I'm going to put together a presentation and go in and speak about weight training and how good it is for women, all ages, especially over 35, for longevity and everything. I'm going to talk about everything I tell you about. And I can't wait to do that. I'm a bit nervous, of course. I'm just going to speak to this random group of women that I've never met, and it's quite professional. Imagine if I'd just seen that, which I did, got scared, which I did. I was like, ooh, this is a bit scary, and not done anything about it. You will never achieve anything if you don't try. She could have just replied and said, no thanks, I don't think you're the right fit, or we're going in a different direction, or she could have just ghosted me. So what? I'm going to put that together. Hopefully it's going to be insightful and help some people. If it doesn't, it doesn't, but it will. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to show them about weight training and women's weight training and teach them something that they can take with them and give them something tangible to take home and do themselves. But I could just sit here with my own business and just sit and tread water and do okay. But at the end of the day, my goal is to help as many women as possible. I'm not getting paid for this. What am I going to get for it? I don't think it'll get me any clients, but it's more the opportunity and the chance to do something different and the chance to speak in front of some women and inspire them and help them. Why not seek opportunities? So if you see something put your name down or go for it, or go for that, promotion or job opportunity, or change your career. It's never too late. Or start something new, or, you're really into crocheting, start a local crocheting group, an online group, or anything. There's so many opportunities out there. Life is short, and don't you want to say at the end of your life again, wow, I did that? Always comes to mind the One Republic song. Absolutely love it. I Lived. If you've not listened to it, put it on. And that's how I want you to feel. I want that song is on my list to be played at my funeral, and that's how I want my life. That's really morbid, isn't it? But I have written that. I've written out my funeral songs. That's how I want my life to be remembered. That I took opportunities, I lived, I did things. Confidence to be me and live life unapologetically. I'll say this again, don't be a knob. I try not to be a knob. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes, gosh, I will tut and moan when someone doesn't indicate it a roundabout, and then 10 minutes later I forget to do it, and I'm like, oh, I'm a bit of a hypocrite there. Or, I'm having a bad day and I can be in a bit of a mood. Certain things, but at the end of the day, most of my time I try and spend being a good person. If I see some rubbish, I'll pick it up. When I was out on the Lake District the other day, it's really noticeable in the lakes if you see a bit of rubbish. I think someone ahead of me must have dropped a gel packet, and I picked it up. I say hello to people. I try and be pleasant and be positive and limit negativity in my life, but I also want to be me and do the things that I want to do and experiences and enjoy them whilst living the fullest life. So that's confidence. I have confidence to do that. I have confidence to, go skiing even after, not last time, the time before I went, it scared me and then I had the fear, but I had the confidence to go back and go, this is not going to control me. I had a fear of edges of mountains at some point. I don't know where it came from. In between a certain amount of years, I think it was getting sober, even though I never got drunk going up a mountain before, but it's just that fake confidence disappeared and I had to relearn everything again. I was getting scared when I was going hiking, going a bit of scrambling, not even much. It's a bit rocky and you have to put your hands down. I'd get really anxious. And I was like, I don't want to live like this. So someone I know back in the East Coast, Jenny, did a hypnotherapy course. She got PT lessons and I did hypnotherapy with her. And I booked that year to do Striding Edge in the Lake District, which is a peak with a sheer drop either side. It's not for the faint-hearted. You don't exactly have to hold on. There's a bit of scrambling, but you don't have to. But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's a bit like unsteady on the feet or anything. People have died falling off it. And I was like, I'm going to go do this. And I got to the top of that hill, to the edge, and I did it. And I wasn't scared. And I'd done the work to get me over it, because I was like, I'm not going to live my life in fear. I actually refuse to live my life in fear. So for me, confidence isn't about how you look, it's about how you live. If you work with me, or if you do any journey where it's fitness and health and fat loss, yes, we will get the changes to your body. Like, I keep a similar body shape, but not by force and not trying to be skinny, but I want to be strong, strong-minded, strong-bodied, fit, able to do everything I want to do for as long as I possibly can. And then when I can't do it anymore, I want to look back in my memories and remember how amazing and authentic my life was and what experiences I had and what I gave to other people as well. So if you want confidence that's just looking good in a bikini, yeah, you might get that with me, but you'll get a lot more. And it's so much more than skin deep, because if you just go out and do fat loss and you don't work on the other stuff, your mindset and your beliefs and learning to love yourself without, by setting boundaries and saying no and everything that comes with it, if you don't work on that side as well, you'll never truly be happy. You might look good and you might be like, oh, I look good in this, but you won't be living your best life. And that's what I help people with. And hopefully that's what I've helped you with today. So go out, live your life authentically, do something that scares you every once in a while. You don't have to do it every week. And go and enjoy yourself and set boundaries, say no, and live your unapologetic, authentic self. That's what we are here for. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.